o'clock, please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on the agenda is to approve the minutes of April 8th as written.
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved by Hugoton, seconded by McCurry, right? Or Meats?
By me,
Yeah.
yep.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Hugoton, you said, and
And Meats.
I got a motion I'm fixing there.
Black and blue.
Yes. I just got the voucher this morning, so, this is what it will be, and we'll issue the check probably next week.
On our miscellaneous motions, move to approve contributions to the Waverly After Prom Committee. The funds to come from $333.34 Diversion Fund, $333.33 from Law Enforcement Trust Fund, $333.33 from Special Parks and Rec Fund.
I'll move.
I'll second that.
Moved by McCurry, seconded by Thompson. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. The next one is correct. The next motion, okay. Move to approve the contributions to Southern Coffee County After Prom Committee with funds to come from the following: $500 from Special Law Enforcement Trust Fund, $500 from Diversion Fund.
I'll still move. I'll second.
Moved by Meats, seconded by McCurry. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Is that a continuing deal, or see, I never updated the names on the bottom of
What are you talking about?
the commissioners' names on the bottom of that?
Oh, on the bottom of the Wade's form, it's got Tom Johnson, or Tim Johnson still on there, and Bob Saresic on there. On Wade's letterhead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't do Wade's letterhead.
Where's that?
Right at the top left of your letterhead.
Okay, that wasn't part of that, it's part of the next one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's,
It's for Lyon County, or, Leroy.
Okay, one of the others.
We might just pulled one from,
It's fine, just,
we'll fix it.
so that's just the letter.
okay.
Next miscellaneous motion.
Tom's
Move.
not here, so he asked me to go ahead and put that for you.
Okay. Move to approve 2024 management plan for noxious weeds on county and state-owned right-of-ways, and to assist landowners in their weed control efforts, as well as other county department and agencies.
We do it every year.
Yeah, that's a good for your own move.
Second. Yeah.
Should I say,
Agreement.
do I have to sign something in here,
Yes.
or do we all?
Well, y'all have to sign.
Kind of wonder why it says owned. Some are owned by the state.
Right, yeah, they contract with the state to do like 35 and 75.
Yeah, but, I mean, we don't own a lot of the right of ways, do we?
Do you want me to take,
I don't know that it matters, it's just,
Weeds on county and state right of way, and to assess landowners in their weed control efforts.
I think that was verbiage that was right out of the
Right out of the top of it. Pretty much.
it's fine, I just,
county and state owned.
that's the way it's supposed to be.
Let's see, I moved, who seconded? You can second it.
Mhm.
Any further discussion?
You know, yes, there's a lot of information in those two sheets here, and I'd say it's probably very, very similar to what it's been the last 2 or 3 years without, having Todd here to answer anything. And I'm not saying it needs to, so I have no problem with going ahead with it, even though there's a lot of information there. This noxious weed area, with 4 of them in there, with vineweed and thistle, Sarisa and Johnson grass is very, very important that we get a handle on it. Especially Sarisa lespedeza, it is still a huge amount of it around. The other 3 have definitely been reduced a lot. So, like I said, I have no problem.
Yeah, Todd did sign it, so yes, he went through it, so.
I went to Gridley the other night. I don't know whether all of you probably know it. 3 miles west on 58 is where K-State and I think the county may be involved in that, maybe a partnership, but they had that whole 60 or 70 acres burned off. And I didn't go up the road, to see what they had been spraying, but they've got a lot of swaths across there. And every 100 yards, there's a new chemical, a new swath. There's a huge amount of information there. But you'd have to have, and of course, with Darrell not with us anymore, I'm not sure who's really in charge of that.
They tried all different kinds of management practices there, burning, not burning, chemical applications, the spring, fall, et cetera. They mowed some of it. It looked like they burnt the whole thing this year, so I don't know whether they're done with it or not, that experiment.
I attended their program here a year ago, or 2 years ago, and there's, for those that's got grass and those that's got the noxious weeds, it'd be good for all those type of farmers to attend, and a lot of education out there.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye, motion passes. And today is the 15th. Tax day.
You'll have to squeeze on one or
Just-
two.
Squeeze Tom's name beside my name, move it on around. Let's see, what else we got? Okay, that's the budget, that's the department head stuff, we got that right?
I put, you can do budget preparation here.
Is it right?
Yep, it's just getting ready to prepare a budget.
Okay.
And all I need you to do is sign it.
Okay. Miscellaneous, motion moved to approve the memorandum of the department heads and the elected officials regarding the 2025 budget preparation.
And probably I would say authorize and direct the chairman, well, you're just gonna initial, that's all you do.
Okay. I'll move.
I'll say it.
Moved by McCurry, seconded by Meats. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion passes. There's my initial.
Thank you.
We got CT
Two.
moved to authorize direct chairman to sign Coffee County payroll notice for Laura A. Dunn, part-time sheriff's deputy, new hire. Part-time sheriff's deputy, new hire, wage classification 40-5 with the wage of $23.42, effective 4/15/24. What's the, I guess, part-time hire, it's not to exceed, anyway.
I could ask a question after we make a motion, but since Sheriff Johnson is here, is state's part-time, is that gonna be 1,000 hours, or it will be less than 1,000?
Can't be more than 1,000
It
hours.
will be, should that be marked as full-time? I'm just asking a
Has to be part-time, because you can't work more than 1,000 hours. Like it says.
I thought you said it was gonna be more than 1,000.
That's not what it says.
Okay.
1,000 or less. I'll move.
I'll second.
Moved by Knight, seconded by Meeks. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Cool.
Okay, Cole, you're up, sir, River City. I get the last one, huh?
Sure.
All right, lucky me.
Morning. Had concrete started this morning, poured the stem wall around the safe room, or the, I guess it would be, what do you got?
Dispatch center?
Dispatch, yes, sir, sorry. Poured that, getting ready to, we're finishing up this week on the south half with our electrical underground to let the concrete crew get in there next week, start with rock Monday, and looking at a slab pour for the south half next week. Skillman is on the south side today. They're going to tear out the entrance to that garage door to allow us to do some site utilities. Plan is to get them in and out of there, out of the driveway today, and then working across the south side of the building for site utilities this week, getting the site, or the retaining wall back there where the transformer and generators will be, pouring the footings starting next week and coming up with that wall. Then we have some steel gonna go on, start a little bit of steel at the safe room, the dispatch center, so we can pour that slab, or that suspended slab rather. Be the first steel we have on site, first slab pour looking at the end of this month, and getting ready for the masons early to mid-May. Getting ready to get very busy.
I didn't get a chance to drive around this morning when I got here. I was in a hurry to get inside here. I went through there last week, and there was all hands on deck, it looked like.
Yes, it was. Big wall pour last week.
Yeah.
Went well. Looked pretty good. Still keeping everything moving.
There's enough small plastic pipe out there to lay 2 or 3 miles of electric wiring.
There's a lot. There's a lot out
Huge
there.
amount. I mean,
And saying there in bunches there look like, there's 10 or 12 here, and then you move over, there's another 10 or 12 going different directions. And even across each other, so.
Yes, we took drone pictures of that Friday he was out here, and they looks like spider webs going across the ground out there.
Imagine.
But luckily, Concrete Unlimited doesn't have to get in there with skid steer. They're going to telebelt it all in, and no broken pipes that way.
Really?
Helps a lot.
Yeah.
A lot quicker as well. They'll be able to get some rock in pretty quick.
Any questions? That concrete floor, is it gonna be wrapped around all the pipe needs to run electrical pipe?
They will be, so you got all your pipes in, they'll have 4 to 6 inches of concrete, or 4 to 6 inches of rock rather, and then you'll have 8 inches of concrete on top of it.
So it's not buried in the concrete?
Correct, no.
Okay.
It's a foot deep.
I wasn't sure in a project like this whether you'll put it in a tight deal or not.
No, it'll be loose underneath the base rock, the drainage layer, and then we'll have about a foot to this top of the slab. Keep it from our rebar, masonry dowels hitting it. They're only 6 to 8 inches, 9 inches in the deep part.
Right. Any other questions for Cole?
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Keep the rain off your back.
I had that conversation with Barb this morning. It's not looking very clear. Said it can rain on this side of things, but over there we want to stay dry.
Our farming industry needs some rain.
Unfortunately, yes.
Thank you, Cole. Thanks. Oh. All right, we're at 9:10. Joe Serrano, County Bond Consul and Economic Development Director, Skipper, advice regarding contract negotiations concerning county development program. How many minutes was it? Executive session?
We had scheduled 40,
40 minutes?
so The only caveat or change to what you have in your motion is Joe Serrano will be appearing by Zoom with the commissioners. And that's already set up downstairs.
Executive session, board, Wade Bowie, Joe Serrano via Zoom, Bobby Skipper, Economic Development, and the commissioners for 40-minute executive session. We'll move.
Second.
Moved by Knight, seconded by Hugon. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. We'll enter at 9:17 for 40 minutes.
Looks like I better take my glasses.
It was my turn to look at.
I think it's station.
Probably should have left it that way. I could have found my way home.
I think.
All right, no action taken on the last executive 40-minute executive session. Now what do we got? Check off jail discussion. Discussion regarding.
I need to get my flash drive, but I handed out, the master copy. I only printed one, because I didn't want to. Should be over here somewhere. Very bottom. So, let me go grab my flash drive and then I'll put it up on the screen.
You betcha. I have to.
That's all right. This is why she should that. And she didn't.
Mhm. Okay. So you're putting it up on the screen, right?
I'm gonna put it up on the screen.
Overnight.
This application for payment is 57 pages long, so I only wanted to print off one copy.
And that, you got it?
Yes, I think that's what this is.
Yeah.
It's just a.
Technology Java. Intentional. So this is for later while we're waiting for this to.
Pass this around.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
He said later.
When it works, it's great. When it doesn't work,
It's just a TV that doesn't work.
Could be operator error.
it probably is.
It's lit up, it's working.
He was unsuccessful.
Just restarted this. So what I'm trying to do is anytime there's an $800,000, $900,000, $1 million request for payment is that I meet with River City ahead of time, go through each and every page. Last week, myself and the sheriff went through the request for payment with Cole. We went through every page. Within what I handed to Jesse, he's got the master copy. It has my notes in it, and then for each individual subcontractor, on the very bottom right-hand corner is the name of the contractor, the request for what the payment is, and that's prior to the 10% retainage, because each of the applications specifically will tie into the overall amount subtracts the 10% retainage. So in this particular instance, the majority of, or the big ticket item is in reference to Concrete Unlimited, and that makes sense if you look at what's going on out there. It ties to Concrete Unlimited. And it probably will continue to for a while, especially with the concrete that is still in the plans in the future. And I'm trying to do this timely. That's beyond my...
Well, I would say the sheriff's got laying eyes on his project pretty much each day. And you're being very diligent in your attention to the pay apps. I mean, I don't have a problem basically approving it.
Well,
Unless something jumps out. But
I appreciate both of his efforts to scrutinize if we need to, you know.
Well, it gets scrutinized, and I go through, but I just want to make sure, and the main reason why this is an exercise that I want to go through, so the public does not think that what's happening is anything's being rubber stamped. Early on, you have the construction manager at Risk River City, you have the architect, all these people. I mean, they're here to do business and make money as well. And I just wanted it to be known that all of these, whether it's this one, the previous one, or any of the ones in the future, are reviewed page by page. And Tom can tell you, I fired question after question off to Cole regarding, well, what's this for, what's this for? In fact, while we were sitting there, he got one of the entities on the phone and said, well, the sheriff and county attorney have a question about item number, whatever it is. Can you tell us what that's about and what it's for? And we were on the phone with them for about 10 minutes. They went through and explained what it was, and I felt like after that it was it made sense. I'll try this one more time.
Well, do you know, I have the distinct unpleasure of filling these out monthly for payments on projects I do, and the engineer project managers, if you will, kind of govern and scrutinize them to the hilt, so mine's small potatoes in comparison to this, but, so it's a payment application form that is not, I've seen them a lot, so I mean, they're just automatically generated when you, before the project even starts, they got the inner values for each thing and stuff like that, and so that Cole on site knows what's in place, what's not in place.
So what I'll do
And
instead of.
I don't have a problem personally.
We called, I mean, we had questions on two of them that we just didn't understand. Cole called those subcontractors, said, what exactly is this on your pay sheet? Explain it to the sheriff and Wade, and they did, and then we went ahead and signed off on it. So, you know, if we can't understand it, you aren't gonna understand it, and we wanna make sure we do, so when this comes back up,
Right.
you know, we can easily explain it.
Well,
We had no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll go through it, orally with you, but that way it's still out there, because the current payment request is $896,154.22. And that's, for everything that's been done for the period ending March 31st, 2024. So the first request, ties to Unlimited Construction, which is Concrete Unlimited. Their total request is for $326,000. The current payment due with the 10% retainage is $293,400. That specifically ties to work completed, $17,000 for reinforced steel, and then for the building, $309,000. I did ask the questions, what all of this that tied to? Footings and foundation, and the steel and ties to both the footings and the foundation. And if you go out, you drive around, that matches up. Next one is for $41,400 HME steel. The current payment due $37,260. That's with a 10% retainage. Specifically, that ties to detailing in the amount of $13,500 for drawings, and then for the steel, $27,900 for embeds and anchor bolts for the concrete. And you'll see my notes in there for that. The next one is IBC Carpentry. The total amount requested, $27,570. $24,813 is the current payment due. That's with the 10% retainage. The itemized list there, the bond is $16,500. General conditions, $4,030, which you'll see my notes for the questions asked there, drawings and submittals. Finished carpentry material, $7,040 for casework and shop drawings, and that totals that amount. The next one.
What's that carpentry? They're not buying any carpentry at this time, or is it something else?
The carpentry is, some of the other things that are listed on the inside. Armor core, toiletry, partitions, message boards, lockers,
I would think they need most of that.
signage, canopy materials, evidence lockers, laundry equipment.
Probably a good lead time on getting
Getting
stuff
it
would be my
Yeah,
guess.
lead time,
Order
they're
and
gonna find a place to store it too,
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's their
because
problem.
there'd be a lot of it. Okay.
The next one, DH Restoration, their total request for payment, $5,474. The current amount due with the 10% retainage, $4,926.60. And that is specific to the payment due and owing for the waterproofing for the 2 elevator shafts. The next one, Poly Jail Building, the total request, $165,968 with 10% retainage. That total payment due, $149,371.20, and that is tied to, for this period, the engineering for modular cells in the amount of $114,207 for the SEC engineering and project management. The engineering, $2,450. The project management, $2,835. And SEC, in case you're curious, the security vendor who's a subcontractor to Poly Jail. It also includes engineering submittals in the amount of $31,908.10. Project management and general conditions, $2,842.45, and then $11,725.45, and that's the total for Poly Jail. Another big one is for the next one, McElroy's, $165,000 is the request, 10% retainage, $148,500, and that encompasses a number of different things, including mobilization, 20,000 submittals, 15,000 excavation, 35,000 plumbing fixtures, 60,000 plumbing below grade material, 15,000 plumbing below grade labor, 20,000. At the very bottom of that sheet, you'll see a section in line items number 21 through 25. Line item 21 is change order 1, addendum 4 items, which has previously been approved. That amount is $46,309. And then 22, 23, 24, 25 will be future change order requests. One of those is a negative minus $17,143, and that's just a preview into the future, but you'll see that that's something that's included. And on the payment application sheet for McElroy's, there's a change order summary of $43,646. That encompasses the change order number 1, addendum 4, plus the future change orders, and it ends up being a balancing out. Next one is Shelley Electric. Their request, $69,167.30. 10% retainage is $62,250.57. The description of work for this period specifically ties to power material, $23,025.30, and power labor, $9,072, and that covers piping and conduit, which ties to what's going on out there. Shelley Electric, there are invoices for every single thing that they've purchased, and probably 20-some sheets for the materials that are tied to this change order, or this payment application. And then finally, the last one, Skillman Construction. The request is $77,384.38. $58,993.50 is the request, plus $18,390.88 in stored materials. The cost for the work completed, not the stored materials, ties to $2,000 for mobilization, $1,560 for demolition, $36,699.38 for sanitary sewer, $18,734.12 for storm sewer, Stored material, storm sewer, $12,088, and stored material fire line, $6,390. And then directly behind that are the two documents that tie to the storm, fire, sanitary, the billing from Rinker, as well as the last page, industrial sales for some specific ADS, Tom, you probably know it, ADS N12 solid.
Piping.
Yep, it's the piping that's gonna go run along the perimeter of the current jail and the new jail, which I think they should be installing.
Storm sewer pipe.
Storm sewer, yep.
I see they had a storm sewer box out there.
Yes, goes all along the east side of the building, or west side of the building, all the way down, and go around the back there. That's why they got that, they tearing out that Sally Port concrete today.
Yeah.
Put that storm sewer in and drain.
So, that is the rundown on this. I apologize, I couldn't show it up there, but I can tell you that every single page was gone through and questions were asked. And I'm doing that for benefit of you guys and the public, so that it's just not rubber stamp.
Right.
Appreciate that. Like I said, you guys laying eyes on it more than we are, so.
Yeah, and I don't wanna act like I'm not interested, I am, I just, I can't know whether all those things are due and owing, so,
Cole, Tom.
appreciate you going over it,
Cole, Tom's had one too.
yeah.
Wade, where do we tie this? Our fund balances, jail construction project, 17,421. How do we tie that into this report that we just got?
That's
This
where-
is what's left to the 10 million we put in, 10 million a bond. Started out at 20.
Yep.
But I don't see nothing here that can tie to it.
This is a whole different, so if you remember the guaranteed maximum price for the jail part of the project, that is at the very top of the document, you have the 25,712,885.
25,712.
And then it goes even higher than that, but that constitutes your River City fee and your architect fee. So that's somewhere in the neighborhood of 27.5 or something like that. So everything that's been paid gets pulled from the funds you're talking about, and then I think the discussions occurred that sometime later this year, that additional 10 million will need to be discussed, and my understanding is when that discussion occurs, Richard has some thoughts and ideas on recommendations maybe for the commissioners to look at things a different way. And that will probably need to occur, but the total payment, this $896,154.22 will be pulled from the jail construction fund, similar to the one that came through about a month ago. And then there'll be a future one, which I think if you looked at.
It's about 800,000 here a month.
And
They're starting getting bigger.
yeah, there's gonna be some,
These are bigger
maybe
jumps coming.
at least $1 million, if not over $1 million, so.
Yeah, just in the timeline, I figured there were gonna be some bigger ones, yeah.
So that's all I have. I'm no expert on any of this, but I can tell you, I'm not.
It looked like everybody was producing receipts for what they were requesting.
Oh, yes.
For me to put my initial on it that I've gone over it, I want you to be assured that it's been gone over.
Very good.
Yeah, 8, 9, something or other.
Do we need a motion?
Yeah, she's got a motion here
You just have to fill in the blanks now.
Mm-hmm. And it's dated
331.
3/3. still in?
I don't know, it's there. Oh, here. Right there.
Oh, sorry, I'm looking down on the bottom. All right. Motion, move to approve the application and certify the payment application number 4 submitted by River City Construction LLC dated 3/31/24 in the amount of $896,154.22 for the work completed reference the Coffee County Law Enforcement Center project. Funds to come from the Jail Construction Project Fund 111.
So moved. Second that.
Moved by Hughes and seconded by Thompson. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Is that a special issue check today?
Do we need to do it?
I don't know. That's what I was
Do we need
asking.
a special issue check today?
Probably.
Okay.
I was just,
Yeah, no, I meant to have this a special issue.
fresh out of checks. Sorry.
They were wanting ATM anyway, so.
So the request was made that the county could wire the funds to them. That's been looked into. They want to open up an account here in Burlington, then I guess that could be done, but it's been explained to me that that can't occur. And I don't think neither Cole nor Ryan want to hand carry a check for $896,000. So I don't know if
I'll carry it for 10%.
I'll put a swap truck for that.
We'll go lights and sirens for
Yes, we
10,
will.
won't we?
Yes, we will.
Give me the keys, I'll drive.
Settle for 90%.
Okay.
If it's a big one, I'm going 5.
You're going 5, so you're undercutting us.
You're gonna undercut it.
Cut right under it.
Tom.
I see how you are. Okay.
so that's all I had with that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for
Thank you.
reviewing that,
Yeah, thanks for your efforts.
keeping us on the right road. Are we gonna go through the, salary stuff now?
Whatever you want, or that special issues you can
We
find.
can do that after. Let's get the main business out of the way, I guess.
Okay.
Next one is to move to authorize director chairman to sign the 2024 CP4U, reflecting the $2,200 increase for all department heads and elected officials, excluding the commissioners, effective on April 1, 2024.
So moved.
I'll second. Moved by Huguet, seconded by McCurry. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Did you total up what added cost that was? I just kind of done some rough figures. That was like $28,000, I think, wasn't it?
2,200 times 13.
2200 times 13.
Give or take.
There's 13 departments, it'd be times 22.
28,000, yeah, 28,000 roughly added there.
Plus another 50% for vacation, each holiday. That's the way I do it, you know.
I put out there, we did get a letter sent to us about, about the, hotel and amphitheater. Somebody,
Oh, wait, you went too far.
went too far?
You didn't do this resolution. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right, here we are back on the. Move to approve resolution number 772-P, a resolution establishing the pay scale and classification for employees for Coffee County, Kansas, effective April 1st, 2024.
So move.
I'll second. Moved by Thompson, seconded by Knight.
So your question got answered then?
Just gonna have that one department head to come in and talk to us.
Yes. Sorry. That was the reasoning for it. That one was gonna be over that one. And that individual's the, deputy
Okay.
was the reasoning for that. We was gonna have somebody under the deputy.
Okay,
They was gonna be over them.
Went from 11 to 13.
That's why there was two jumps in that
Okay.
one, to keep them
Keep
separated.
That's in order.
I figured she probably had a
Yep.
Otherwise, supposed to take.
justification.
Yeah.
We're supposed to take one pass. Sorry.
I did
Okay.
have a
Just
question
looking
though,
good.
on the effective date. We used to do April 1st because we were paid April 1st through April 30th. Do you want to put on the April paycheck, because it actually would back up to March 22nd and then go through
It would be for the actual April pay.
April, and then the end of April is going to go part on May,
May.
but the majority of it will be on the last of March? Or do you want to just put on the April page, effective April of 2024?
I would put effective April 2024, that way it encompasses everything from April forward, not retro back to the middle of the month. Is that, am I following you
But you
right?
have to retro
We
because
do.
they,
We started the pay period
Uh,
March 22nd, so it'll go until April 20th or whatever.
yes.
I would put whatever would be, I don't know, that's a good question. Yeah.
I understand what
If
you're
we
saying.
pay the April 30th paycheck, because they're going to get their paycheck on April 30th,
Correct.
we
So
could,
half of it's for March,
well, not half,
or
but
give or
about
take, 10
6,
days.
7, 8 days, whatever,
Yeah.
yeah. If we did, effective on the April 30th paycheck, would that work, Wade?
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Okay.
Well, we're talking about this resolution establishing the pay, because everybody's time went in March 20th, if you will. So,
Real time.
correct, so do we need to, as of April 30th paycheck, or do we need to go back and kick it to when they turn their time in March? Effective date.
If we put effective on the April 30th paycheck, then we will we've already made the changes in the system, so it's going to do that for the April 30th paycheck.
Yep.
And if we left it like that, we could just keep it that way every year.
Yeah, your days will change.
Yeah.
So you'd say the April, for the April pay period, because it'll be,
Yeah, it'd be different days.
April pay period, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, with corrections of adding effective on the April pay period. Church Thompson still moves.
Yes.
I still second. We had the question answered. Both questions. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. Okay, Wade handed us a map. I'm assuming it's about the road closure
Yeah.
for the request.
everybody get one? It's circled in highlighting, but if you can see the highlighting, so that is the particular area, and as you see, as I think someone mentioned last week, both sides are owned by the same person.
East to west.
Yeah, once you get to the quarter mile mark. It's not requesting to close that first quarter mile east of Blackberry.
They don't want the first one.
Right, right.
Yes.
And that road, you know, it dead ends before it gets to the half-mile line. You can see that red outline there makes that loop, that's the end of the road. But there's a barricade at the end of that down there before you get to the lake. Detention dam, before you get to the water, wherever you want to call it. Yeah.
So you're talking right here, Wade?
Yeah, right.
Be the second quarter from.
Yeah, that's where it starts, and then,
Once it closed from there to here.
yeah, just where Schmidt's got the property on the north and the south side, just wants to close that last, it's not even quite a full quarter mile. Yeah,
But he does
right-
not.
Right before you get to the water, back to the quarter mile line to the west.
But he does not own the north side of that road. He wants to go north and south.
Well, it's an east-west road there.
Sorry, I get my map turned around here.
Yeah, okay, there we go now.
Now we're cooking with peanut oil.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, just where he has the property on both sides. I don't see how that affects anyone else.
I don't either.
Dead ends in the water
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
on his
So
property.
nobody can travel, you know, yeah, it even dead ends on his property,
Yeah.
like Tom just said, so. Nobody, you know, it wouldn't be, the landowners to the east don't have access to it anyhow, because
Right.
the water's there,
Right.
so I see no effect on anyone else.
I don't either.
You're saying we're closing some of the east and west road?
No,
No, it's strictly
Just north and
south.
south.
it's just, see where
This
this
road.
box ends right
Yes,
there?
okay.
The road's barricaded before it even gets to the water.
I thought you was talking about doing this on the
No,
road there.
just from this one
Yep.
here to there, Don.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those east-west property lines are not even roads.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Those are just property lines.
So the next steps, there's actually several, and as referenced last week. Publication, there's the county surveyor, there's the petitioner, and then there's the, I want to say, in my head it's fence viewers, but they're not fence viewers, they're disinterested landowners. Disinterested householders. This one I don't think is complicated like some of the others where you have maybe a lot more at stake, but it still has to follow the right process. So I think getting a hold of the landowner, the county surveyor, is that the same person that was used for the Meadows property? Is that who the county typically uses, or?
Yes.
So those are the next steps, once those things are put into play. And then you have to have 3 disinterested householders
To protest it?
well, not to protest it. So upon presentation of any petition for a road or for the alteration or vacation of any road to the county commissioners at any regular session of their board, it shall be the duty of the commissioners, if they find the petition to be a legal one, and a proper bond has been filed, that's a question we'll have to sort through regarding the bond, to appoint 3 disinterested householders of the county as viewers with such commissioners, who may act as viewers of such road, and the county clerk shall give notice by advertisement set up in the county clerk's office and in every municipal township through which any part of such road is designated to be laid out, altered, or vacated. So that township would be Liberty. For at least 20 days and by publication for 2 consecutive weeks in the newspaper of general circulation in the county.
So these viewers, did I understand that can be commissioners?
It-
Disinterested
Yep.
household owners, or whatever the wording was.
It says, appoint 3 disinterested householders of the county as viewers with such commissioners. So I think they,
Be total of 6.
Okay, so we can't have,
so there's still several steps. And the first step is this map, kind of getting it laid out, and then
Yeah, last time we had a road closure was northwest of Leroy, and there was a couple commissioners, there was 8 or 10 people there.
yeah,
Those that half mile there where Roscoe Rogers' place was, all the way east of the river.
well, we can.
So disinterested would not be
Not the
anybody from
landowner.
Road and Bridge.
Is it citizens or just citizens?
I think it can be, I mean, to me, I'd have to look and see what the definition of disinterested, but I would assume that nobody in this particular area.
Nobody has any interest in
Yeah.
that area.
Because we could only have 2 commissioners there, correct?
2 commissioners and the attorney.
But as I mentioned, I wouldn't anticipate, well, you might have somebody who uses that to go to the body of water who might have an issue with it, but.
Well, they're trespassing if they are.
So,
Well, after this, they would be trespassing,
Well, they
correct?
are anyhow, the road, the road's barricaded, but
Oh,
whoever
it's
gets to the
barricaded
water,
in there.
it's all private property.
So it's not even an open road anymore.
No.
Oh,
Well, I mean, it's barricaded at the east end, is what I mean.
Oh, I see.
Before you get to the water, it's all private property, so
It's a pretty good sized watershed.
it's pretty big.
There's gotta be at least 35 acres in it, maybe 40.
so I'll continue working on it.
I would say it's got a legitimate closure in my eyes.
I think so as well.
Yeah, I don't see why there should be any issue. It's a valid
So-
objection.
Yeah, it's not serving anybody anything, so.
No.
He owns both sides of the fence, of the road,
Well,
so.
that's one less off of Ryan's list.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Makes it shorten it up by almost a quarter of a mile.
Oh, what else do we have? I believe that concludes our agenda for today. Other than roundtable. Anybody need a break?
Depends on what everybody's got for roundtable.
Jesse, if you don't mind, this here is coming around in our papers to sign from Connie Lawrence. Of course, 4 of our employees are going out of state for our GIS conference. I wouldn't mind seeing and asking if there's any place closer, especially in Kansas, that would be able to provide that. Maybe not this quick, maybe 6 months later. But
Sure.
if you don't mind, if you're going out of state, you gotta have our permission to do it, so.
What is it doing?
Oh, I'm sorry, they passed it to you.
Going to Denver for 3 days, I think.
5 to 6 days.
list.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Morning, Connie.
Morning, Connie, how you doing?
I'm good. It's Monday.
We got this request here for four of you employees, one going to Denver. I suppose it has something to do with the appraiser's responsibilities in GIS, but, there's no one that wants to shut down education
That's fine.
any more than I do. I mean, that's how we are better at our job.
Mhm.
But I also know you gotta have permission to go out of state.
Right.
Is there any place in Kansas that in the near future you'd have the same
Not that I'm aware
educational
of,
program?
but they come up often, so the girls wanted to see if we could go to that instead of our Kansas mapping, because it's got more towards stuff away from what we're doing right now. It's not geared towards what our office is doing, so we thought this would have more to do with our office.
This would do a better job of what you're needing to do
Right.
right now.
Right.
Well, that being the case, I have no problem signing it, 'cause like I said,
Right,
You can't-
and I figured you'd have questions, so that's okay. I
you know, this is
appreciate
being
this.
paid for the GIS funds. Where's those funds come from? There's
Uh,
$710,000 in that account.
That's usually, has been left over usually from my, end of year budgets. I think when I got here, I had like 66,000 in the year.
I just don't remember how it got that high.
Yeah, and then we use it for aerial photography, we fly in the county, but, we've been getting that from the USDA office has a link out there, so we've been using that instead of reflying right now. Eventually we'll probably have to refly, but,
So
we're
you
trying
might
to
have some
save.
more expense later
Right,
on, that some
right.
of that money might.
and then
be-
also 911 flew one year and we used that photography, so we're just trying to use it when we have to have it.
So there would be a possible need
Yes.
for this money
Yes,
on down the line.
yes.
Thanks, Connie.
You would think with the USDA, you'd think they'd be flying every couple of years.
They do, and that's what we've been using, but, there's so much change going on that we never know for sure if they're gonna keep doing it or not. So
How often do you have to have requirements?
we have to check it every year.
Every year.
with the state.
Another question, we got 7 employees or 8 employees. Is there any more than those 4 that need to be going? Or,
No.
cause you're the
No.
fourth, okay.
No, that's fine. We thought that would be.
For those that's in that
plenty.
position, they're.
Right, yep.
Okay.
So, is that okay if we go then?
I'm sorry?
Is that okay? Has it been approved?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Have any more
Thank you.
questions, let me know.
Denver's not too far into Colorado anyway, I guess.
Far enough for me. It's too many roads in
Yeah.
Denver, Colorado. I don't know what we could learn there that would do us any good. How not to run a state maybe, or a city.
Let's take that 4-day trip and
How not to, yeah.
I agree. take that 4 or 5 day trip.
Sorry, that was
Mississippi.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll not forget it up. Yes, indeed. Roundtable, Wade, got anything?
Maybe informational, I will be requesting to add Amy Sides to the agenda for next week. Amy Sides is the individual who runs and operates the Happy Bear program. And if you remember, I think it was you, Jesse, who asked about that in the past, and I'd requested that she come in and talk to the commissioners about what that program's about. At one point in time, I think somebody had brought to a commissioner's attention some concerns about that program and what it's doing and what it's doing in the schools. So it's a program that even prior to my arrival, since 2012, funding has been provided through diversion funds to help support that program. And there's an opt-out letter that goes to parents at schools where they can opt their child out of being a participant. And I'll just read it so you can hear. Dear parent, sexual abuse of children has received a great deal of public attention in the past several years. Since 2012, the Coffee County District Attorney's Office, along with private citizens in Coffee County, have funded the Happy Bear Sexual Abuse Prevention Program. This free program educates all preschool through second grade students throughout Coffee County about the importance of body awareness. A special program entitled Happy Bear will be presented during your child's class counseling time. The 30-minute play will feature Happy Bear, a lovable bear who teaches about body awareness to prevent sexual abuse. Students will learn at an age-appropriate level that their bodies are private. The interactive play also teaches children how to say no, walk away, and tell someone if anyone tries to sexually assault them. We highly encourage parents, grandparents, and other trusted adults to attend this presentation. In fact, your presence is a way to show students there are many trusted adults in their lives. You will be seen as one of the trusted adults to whom the children can practice saying, I got a bad touch and I need some help. If you do not want your child to attend this program, fill in the bottom half, return it to your child's teacher. And this is just a copy of the form. So this program's been going on already this year. In fact, there's only one left. It looks like April 9th. It was at Burlington Elementary. Last Friday was in Levo, and then Waverly finishes up on April 26th. So if you want to see it in action, that's one way to do it, but I've requested that Ms. Sides come in and present to the commissioners and talk about the program. You never, haven't been a prosecutor almost 20 years now. You never want to think that topic is something that needs to be discussed with kids that age. I can tell you kids need to be educated, and unfortunately, knowing good touch, bad touch, and those type of things, I've been through a number of child sex abuse trainings as well as a number of cases, and you think the innocence of a child that age, you wouldn't need to worry about that, but unfortunately, I've handled far too many cases where kids that age, that they are the perfect victim.
What age group?
Preschool to second grade. And it's very unfortunate that you have to have that type of presentation to kids that age, but I'm an advocate for it, but I understand parents who don't want to have their kids a part of it.
Unpleasant reality. I think they should really reconsider if they don't want their kids. They need to know.
Coffee County kids are not immune to those type of things. A lot of times it's one of the most trusted people that you leave a kid with, that someone who you never would imagine would do something like that. And I wish it weren't so, but.
Well, the only, I had several complaints, and this has been over a year ago. I don't really remember the individuals, which doesn't matter. If I can recall correctly, I believe there was a male voice in the bear costume talking to girls about good touch, bad touch, which was disturbing in my eyes. Maybe a male talking to boys and a female bear talking to the girls would be, in my eyes, more appropriate, I should say. And so I just felt that side was, it's sad that the parents can't do this themselves. They have to go into the schools
Sure.
and access the children at the school, which in my eyes is sickening in general, that the parents aren't doing their job. Sometimes the parents is a problem, and I understand that. And I understand the need for the program, and I'll say this next week or whenever, it's be all right if there's a mommy bear and a daddy bear, and the daddy bear was taking care of the boys, and the mommy bear was taking care of the girls. That's just in my eyes, I find it sickening that there's a male bear talking to girls about good touch and bad touch. That's just my 2 cents.
And those, like you said, next week, those concerns can be voiced, and maybe there's another answer, I don't know. But that's why I wanted to invite her here, so that whatever your questions, concerns, any of the above can be addressed, and
Very good.
I think they can be answered.
And they go to each school in the county, is that right?
Yep.
Is 9:15 okay?
Yep. Probably need to have a whole nother in-service with the schools about social media and sending and receiving nudes and those type of things, because that
There's
is
so
a very,
much stuff out there that you can't.
Scary.
there's an individual in prison right now from Coffee County serving over right around 18 and a half years. And they would buy alcohol and marijuana and vapes for young teenage boys in return for nude images of things that should never happen. In other instances, are you familiar with the term catfishing? This individual would also catfish and play. They're a female, you send me yours, I'll send you mine. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of what's going on here in Coffee County. And if you're under 18 and you are taking nude images and you're sending them to other teenagers or adults, you are technically transmitting child pornography, so you are in possession of child pornography. And I've had countless conversations with parents and kids about the dangers of doing so, because once you post it online, it doesn't just go away. You can't just delete and erase it. And unfortunately, because you're dealing with kids, they will take something like that and they will send it to all their friends. And my efforts have been focused on education instead of moving forward with some sort of prosecution, because you have it's happening as early as in elementary school and middle school. I'm dealing with young kids who are given one of these things and they have access to the entire world. And instead of being out running around kicking ball, playing on the swing set, they're being victimized by who knows who from who knows where, because they're preying on these young kids.
Devil's playground.
It's very.
Should be a good thing, if somebody's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Right. The ability to communicate.
So here in Coffee County, it's a problem just like it is anywhere else.
Yeah, there are so many sites. It's,
Well, anymore, all you gotta do is just talk about something, and when you go on
and it
Facebook or whatever, it pops up, it's like,
I guess, they are listening to you.
so whatever these kids are saying, and they got a phone, it's popping up on.
Same thing.
I think it,
And
I'm assuming that's how it goes.
There's something.
Search engine
So-
related.
so how does that work if young person opens up their phone and they click on something and this image comes to them, then if they delete it, are they
I
Are
believe
still
if you-
guilty?
You look at it, if you open it up, you are guilty
that's what I'm
at
wondering.
that point in time.
Well, you then get into intent, so let's say a nude image is sent from one to another, that's a problem. Then somebody opens it. If they don't know what they're opening, how are you gonna? But once you know it, you know it's there, then that's the problem. Then if you take that and you forward it on, then you start getting into
Intent.
a vicious cycle. I mean, you have teenage boys, teenage girls sending images, then they think they're only sending it to one person, and then it gets out, and there have been numerous instances across the country where it's embarrassing. If you only think you're sending it to one person and it gets out to a large audience. There have been instances where people, the one whose nude image it is has committed suicide or hurt themselves. I mean, it's a big deal.
Right.
And you can't take that back.
Yeah.
And that's why having education for young people, when I was in another county, I went into the schools and I talked about those things exclusively. And when I first go in, I talk about what is sexting. And everybody has an idea of what sexting is, and it's funny, everybody's laughing and carrying on. By the end of that conversation, you could drop a pin and you could hear it drop, because it's serious business. And there are, unfortunately, adults out there who prey on kids. And it's bad. And I wish there was an answer, but you have all these apps out there, and each of these apps, you have adult males who go on, adult females too, not just males, and they're looking for their next victim. If you look at what was on the news quite a bit up in Osage County, is they have what I call to catch a predator, where they have somebody posing as a young female, and they set it up where this individual would come and meet them somewhere up in Osage County, and from all walks of life. And they come with supplies in hand, and they were prepared to do something despicable. And I just, the awareness here locally is Coffee County kids are not immune from that happening. We don't have a magical barrier or fence around this county and the kids in this county. They can be victimized just like anybody else. Now, being smart about it and educating the kids, and anytime I have a chance, and I talk to a lot of kids, we talk about those things. We talk about it with their parents, and so that's why a program like this, the Happy Bear, if it's done the right way, it helps to at least set that template. You're right, it should happen at home. And the talk about good touch, bad touch. Going back into the 2007, I went and I did, took forensically trained interviewers who go in and talk to these kids about the good touch, bad touch. As you get older, it's easier to talk about the kids who, I've had cases where the victim is as young as 3 years old, just barely verbal, and when they're talking about 3, 4, 5, it's a bad deal, and then you have to have those kids potentially meet their accuser. But that's why those, kids are victimized, because who's going to believe a kid when, well, maybe they misunderstood. And it's not a fun topic to talk about, because you don't want to think that there are monsters out there who will do that to kids or animals or to the elderly. Those are the three that at certain points in time, they have no voice. They can't talk.
Right.
And that's why they're, for some, the perfect victim. So anyways, not to...
I would sure support myself anyhow. You were interested in making those presentations to, to the high school or junior high or whatever too, of these different concerns about photographs being transmitted and everything. I mean, education about it is the only way to hopefully curb it. It's probably never going to stop 100% of it, but, people, if young people can understand the seriousness of passing these items on, would hopefully curb that.
I think oftentimes they think it's not going to happen to them. Their image is that only one person's going to see, but then they find out they get distributed
To the outside.
many others. And then when they find out about that, then they don't want to go to school, because all these people have seen me in a compromising picture, which is understandable.
Yeah.
So I'm all about educational opportunities, what you're talking about. It's, I go into the schools whenever they request it. I go to the schools and talk about, I think, you do the same thing, to go in and talk about your job and what you do as a commissioner.
Yeah, on government class, I believe.
And it's a different thing, but I go in and I do the same thing in my role and responsibility. And we touch on some of those things, but to have a more specific conversation about the things nobody wants to talk about, those are the things we need to talk about. So, anyways. I don't have anything for roundtable.
Don't have anything for him.
The happy bear thing was the only thing that I wanted to mention.
Steve, do you have any roundtable today?
No, sir, I don't. I'm good.
Dawn?
I am good.
Wade?
No, sir.
Is this not one?
I don't have.
Yeah, I think that's all that big pay.
That's all the big,
Oh, okay.
the big jam. Okay. $3,800 to haul somebody to New York.
That is a wrong freight business.
I'm telling you.
Secure prisoner transport. Someone serving
What's federal corrections?
a federal sentence in a federal case for a violation of, I believe it was the on the federal side, the HOPS Act, which is, if I remember right, armed robbery of some sort. And then they also had a pending drug case here. Handled that drug case, they had to be transported here from somewhere in New York, which is way too far away. And their case was resolved, and that's the transport back, because they were on loan from the feds.
So, like, do they have different levels, security levels of these transport companies that, you know, depending on what type of prisoner they're transporting? I mean, they have armed guards in this vehicle?
Yeah, they're all secured. I don't know this particular outfit, but, they have to have certain levels of, I mean, I'm sure it's a secure, transport vehicle, and then somebody who's specifically trained to deal with an inmate. Because the last thing you want is somebody to be able to overpower and
Get away from it.
yeah. And in the past, under the previous sheriff's administration, you had the sheriff and the undersheriff go to Vermont and pick up a prisoner there and actually fly them back to Kansas, handle their case, and then fly them back to Vermont, where they are serving a sentence.
Angie, do you have any roundtable to do?
We are finalizing, getting everything ready for the Southeast Kansas District meeting for next week from this Thursday. I'm still trying to get one thing done in CIC in order for Time Clock Plus to work for the sheriff's office. So I should be getting that done this week, and then we're going to see how things look. I only had to update a couple departments on their comp time and inform them how to use it, because they were selecting something that was making it be off. But anyway, and I haven't heard anything from Red Bridge, so I guess theirs is working okay. So
I had about a 4-hour meeting with Road and Bridge. I think it was last Thursday or Friday. I can't remember what day it was. But I was down there for about 4 hours and met with Ryan and Adam. Still requiring a lot of their time.
I didn't know if some of that could be taken off of them by having their supervisors do.
Well, we discussed that. They said until they know that it is right and it's the way it should be or supposed to be, they're not gonna push it over to supervisors to do yet until they're 100% confident in it, I guess. Even though their supervisors are doing it before it comes out of Ryan and Adam's hand, they have to look at it to forward it on. And so, I mean, it's still gonna require them. That's what I asked them. I said, you know, instead of it taking you 4 hours to review it, would it take 20 minutes to review it if you're confident in the ones that it's prepared? And so their discussion was, until we know that it's gonna work the way it's supposed to work, we're going to do it. Once we're confident in it, then we're gonna roll it over, or look at to roll it over into supervisors doing it, or somebody in the office, another office person to go over it. You know, it's just point blank, you've got management people doing something that really somebody else could be doing. I feel their need, and I expressed this to them. I said, I feel your need and your job title is to be out doing what you're hired to do, not doing this. If there's any way that we can figure out how to train somebody to do what you're doing here before you have final say on, sign off on it. So, I don't know. They do run a very tight ship. They do. They address issues. If there's somebody clocking in late, they address the issue, they always have. But they've got good checks and balances down there, they really do.
Well,
For a
and
big department.
when you're implementing a new system, I mean, Wade's probably experienced it with the system they're doing over there in their office. I don't know, I haven't talked to him about it, but, I mean, it can take a few months to get things going the way you want it to be going, so.
Mm-hmm.
Unless yours is working perfect right off the bat.
We went from paper to paperless, and every single prosecution file being uploaded. I can access it from the cloud. I still don't like it. And it's, but I'm getting more adjusted to it. So the program is not perfect, but it's designed to be more efficient. And that's ultimately what the goal is. So, but there are times when we don't have internet access in the courtroom and I can't access a file and I'm asked a question, it's a problem. Because it all depends on internet access.
And so, I don't know if there's anything else. I can't think of anything right off.
I don't think I have anything. Don't think.
Board appointments,
Yeah, I have them on for next Monday,
okay.
unless you want to do it today.
No, that's fine. I just couldn't remember the time frame we set up.
They're on the agenda for next Monday.
Awesome. Okay.
There is probably a noteworthy zoning meeting, not that they all aren't, but tomorrow's is important because it's a public hearing, or tomorrow, Wednesday. It's a public hearing regarding proposed regulations for commercial solar. So, and that's been a hot button issue all across the state, all across the region. So I don't know how many people will show up, but I'd encourage you to impact things countywide. And if you haven't had a chance to sit and watch some of that conversation, it's a good dialogue.
What time is that meeting, 7?
So,
And it's down here, right?
Yes.
Is it,
I'm sure there'll be quite a few attending that, would be my guess. Pros and cons would be my guess.
I've been told there's been 15 or 20 people who requested to look at the proposed regulations already.
Yup. Ooh.
There's just 2 of us.
Got the wife on the lawnmower today up at the Bailey property. Out there mowing away.
That should make it rain.
Yeah, hopefully it makes it rain, yeah.
every time that one's, I mean,
Sure hope so.
we need this,
We're not talking about very much of a mountain.
tell you what, with 30 mile an hour wind, it doesn't take long to start things up.
Not long at all.
It's a good beat.
That thing's supposed to shut off.
Where's that hammer at? Want to work on everybody else's
That
computer.
right there's my hammer.
Whack-a-mole.
Jesse owns it this cell phone.
Anybody's more than willing to have the gavel, that's for darn sure.
Carl Bill made that, Carl Otto made that for me. I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. He's 98 today, and he still does.
Anybody have anything else? I think Angie was done. I don't think I have any more round table. Speak now, forever hold your peace.
For a week anyway.
We'll adjourn at 11:18.
Pretty good.
pay your taxes to that, just.
I'm pretty sure I got